Rise, Meg.
The Force will be with you.
Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another video. In today's news we're going to be talking about a huge tease by Ray Park for Darth Maul appearing in the Kenobi series. We're also going to be talking about how The Mandalorian Season 3 might face a huge setback and more. As always my Megalorians, before I dive into the news, please may I ask you to hit like down below, subscribe to my channel if you're brand new and a huge welcome if you are, and make sure to give that notification bell a good old tickle to be alerted each and every time I post new content to the channel. So without much further ado and without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. We're gonna start with the big Kenobi news that the Darth Maul actor Ray Park might be teasing more Star Wars action in his future. So as you guys know, Ray Park last appeared in the Star Wars franchise with a tease at the end of Solo: A Star Wars Story, but a recent post from the actor has fans wondering if a return to the franchise could be in his future or if he's merely just sharing an old picture from his time in the saga. The actor did include a Solo hashtag, seemingly implying that that's where the photo came from, though a reference to Dathomir has some fans hoping that he's teasing a return to the galaxy far, far away. Adding more complications to the matter is that the announced live-action Star Wars projects largely take place after the timing of Maul's death in Star Wars Rebels. But flashbacks are certainly not out of the question considering Hayden Christensen will be playing a Clone Wars era Anakin for flashbacks and a current Darth Vader for the timeline that Kenobi is set in. It's no real secret in the Star Wars community that Park's appearance in Solo was not necessarily intended to be a one-off appearance, as that film's writers have teased how Maul and his crime syndicate were set to be part of a bigger hopeful sequel series. While many live-action Star Wars projects currently being developed by Lucasfilm take place after Maul's death, there is always the option of Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is expected to start shooting in LA this spring. Given the complicated connection between the characters, first seen in The Phantom Menace and continued in animated projects, it is possible that Park could appear in the series. That project is confirmed to take place between the events of episodes 3 and 4, though the specific timeline has not been revealed, so it is entirely possible that Maul could appear in that series. So what do you guys think about Ray Park's Instagram post? Do you think he's teasing a return to the galaxy far, far away based on the fact that Obi-Wan Kenobi starts shooting next month? In my opinion, this is a tease for things to come. The timing seems appropriate and I think they're going to go all out for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. So now let's talk about The Mandalorian Season 3. We all know the big news that happened the other day that Lucasfilm fired Gina Carano and we will no longer see Cara Dune in the show. On top of this though, Pedro Pascal himself might not be available for a large chunk of the shooting. So does this mean that The Mandalorian Season 3 is in trouble considering the fact that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have a lot less to work with and will have to modify their scripts accordingly? Now don't get me wrong, I'm absolutely aware of the fact that Pedro Pascal was not the only actor to portray the Mandalorian because they used body doubles under the suit. Of course he's the face of Din Djarin, but he wasn't always the body under the suit. Now speaking of Din Djarin's face, it seemed that by The Mandalorian Season 2, Din was much more comfortable removing his helmet in public. Therefore, there's the expectation in Season 3 that we'll see his face more. But now that we know that Pedro Pascal has a busy schedule, and given everything that's been going on, it begs the question of, will there be setbacks for The Mandalorian Season 3? So in case you're not aware of Pedro Pascal's situation, let me lay it out for you. Pedro Pascal has joined HBO's The Last of Us adaptation. In fact, the announcement surrounding Pedro Pascal's newest high-level TV casting makes it fairly easy to believe that the actor's role within the Star Wars universe is seemingly going to be diminished sooner rather than later. Now it is very possible that he is still going to be in The Mandalorian's third season and he will just have a very hectic schedule or just come back for the voice roles and we'll see Din with his helmet on more. But if we're being frank here, the recent casting of Pedro Pascal in The Last of Us will cause issues for The Mandalorian. This is mainly because Pedro Pascal is reportedly in first position with The Last of Us, meaning that the high-profile video game adaptation will be his main concern going forward rather than The Mandalorian. Obviously at this stage nothing is really confirmed to do with The Mandalorian Season 3 other than the fact that we know it's going to happen. But with all of the setbacks that have been happening lately, it's safe to assume that the 2022 date might be pushed back further. I hope this isn't the case, but things don't look too hopeful at the moment for The Mandalorian Season 3, at least in terms of scheduling and casting. But as always, I'll keep you guys up to date whenever there's news. So now let's move on to our final article. We're going to be talking about the news that Daisy Ridley is open to returning to Star Wars. Episode 9 The Rise of Skywalker concluded with Ben Solo, played by Adam Driver, dying after he saved Rey's life. Ben used the Force to heal Rey, but the sheer exhaustion of resurrecting her killed him. Rey went on to bury Luke Skywalker and Leia Organa's lightsabers before walking off into the sunset. Although reports have stated that Daisy Ridley is done with the franchise, she has now stated otherwise. Best-selling author Sarah Wilson recently spoke to Daisy and posted snippets of her chat on her Twitter account. Wilson wrote the following: "I briefly told Daisy about the fan theories of Ben still being alive in the world between worlds and asked if she'd be open to returning as Rey because reports said she's done. Daisy said that this was taken out of context and that she loves Rey and quote-unquote, it's not like I'm like no more Star Wars." Wilson added, but she feels as if the ending was complete and was happy with it. As you guys may or may not be aware, a couple of months ago, Daisy Ridley was finding it really hard to get employment in the acting industry. But now it seems as though she would be more than happy to return to Star Wars as Rey. Even though there were fans who were very disappointed with the sequels, I would be more than interested to see Rey far in the future in episode 10, 11 and 12. And while a lot of you might say that will never happen, you never know with these things because Star Wars tends to come in waves. Who's to say in 10, 15, even 20 years time, Lucasfilm decide let's make episodes 10 to 12, which follows the story of Rey, a decade after the events of The Rise of Skywalker. I would be more than happy to see that. I don't know about you guys, I know there's a lot of people in my audience who don't necessarily enjoy the sequels or anything related to them. But hey, I'm just stating my opinion on this. So my dear friends, I really hope you enjoyed today's news update. If you did, please be sure to give me a big fat like, subscribe to my channel, and also if you're feeling generous, please consider heading over to my Patreon, where for just $2 or $10 a month, you get exclusive access to content that's not found here on YouTube. And that includes my podcast, which is called Megasodes, access to my Forgotten Characters series where we look at characters who are not very well spoken about, Star Wars explained videos, theories, and much more. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.